Hi, I'm Noah, and this is the ERS System Configuration Training Series, Service Areas. Service Areas is the part of your ERS folder that governs where you'll do business. When you filled out your kickoff form, we asked you what's your service radius, meaning how many miles from your warehouse will you deliver. Then we went ahead and added all the cities and states that came up within that radius into your folder. The cities and states that show up in that search end up making a drop-down menu on the customer information page with a list of all the cities in your service area. The cities and states come from a search of the United States Postal Service database, the post office. So when we run the search based on your service radius and your warehouse address, the list that USPS gives us typically includes some weird stuff. For example, we can see in my demo folder here that Kirtland Air Force Base shows up in the list, as does Monsanto Base. Those are two military bases here in the Albuquerque area. Albuquerque is where this folder's service areas are set up. We've also got Public Service Company, which is called PNM. That's our local electrical utility. We've also got University of New Mexico, which is the flagship university of the great state of New Mexico. Take that, NMSU. Go Lobos. And we've also got Los Ranchos listed in here 4 times with 4 different spellings. And there's actually a 5th different spelling down below the screen where you can't see it. So we need to clean this list up by removing any alternate spellings of cities that have multiple different spellings and by removing institutions from this list. Now why? What's the problem here? I'm happy to do business with the electrical utility or a military base or the local college. If they want to do business with me, sure, I'm happy to do it. But here's the thing. None of those institutions are cities. They're institutions. This drop-down menu should only have cities in it. This city field is there so you can get a billing address, and an address requires a valid city. There is a company name field, a location name field, and a customer comments field on this page. So there are plenty of places where, for example, if someone from Kirtland Air Force Base wants to do business with me, they can type Kirtland Air Force Base into any of those fields. So when we clean up this list and remove institutions from it, we're not preventing those institutions from doing business with us. We're just ensuring we collect a valid billing address. So to clean up this list, I'm going to navigate to Admin, Order Config, Service Areas. And I'm going to go into spreadsheet mode because I'm going to make a bunch of edits at once. So spreadsheet mode is going to save me some time. So I'm going to check the box for every city that I don't want to serve. And also, again, remove those alternate spellings and institutions from this list. So Buttigers, I don't want to go to. Cedar Crest is way at the top of the mountain. I don't want to drive my box truck up those winding roads. I don't even know what Domingo and El Llanito are. 5 Points is actually a neighborhood and not a city. I don't even know what Golden is. Isleta is an Indian reservation. I don't want to go there. There's just a lot of red tape. Kirtland Air Force Base, again, that's a city. Los Padillas is a neighborhood, not a city. Once again, we've got multiple different spellings of Los Ranchos, and it only should show up in that list one time. Monsanto Base, again, that's an institution, not a city. Panorama Heights, that's a neighborhood, not a city. Placitas is okay. Public Service Company, again, institution, not city. Ranchitos, I don't even know what that is. Same with Rancho West. San Antonito, I think that's a tiny little town somewhere off the freeway. Don't want to bother. San Felipe Pueblo, again, I don't want to deal with the red tape there. Sandia Base, that's an Air Force base. Don't want to go there. I'm happy to go to Sandia Base, but again, these are cities, right? So I'm fine to go there, but it shouldn't be in this list. Sandia Park, that is actually a city, but that's also at the top of the mountain, and I don't want to deal with that. Sandia Pueblo, Santa Ana Pueblo. Tamaya is a resort, not a city. University of New Mexico, go Lobos. Again, that should not be in this list. Village of Los Ranchos, we've already got our one spelling of Los Ranchos that we need to stay in there, so we don't need that one. So then I'm just going to click here to delete all the checked entries. And then when I click OK to confirm, okay, that's a much nicer list of cities for my customers. And then when I go back into the front end and I refresh, yep, that's a much better list for my customers. Now, some people live in a service area. I actually don't live in Albuquerque anymore. I recently moved to upstate New York. And one thing that I've been floored by is how many tiny little towns and hamlets and villages there are out here. You drive for like 3 minutes and you're in a different village. It's pretty weird, and I'm still wrapping my mind around it. So, if I set up a business in my service area, I would, even after cleaning up that list, I would still have a really long list of cities and towns. That's okay. Your customers are used to sifting through a long list if you live in a service area like that, and the list is alphabetized, so it's not going to be hard for them to find the city they live in. However, if that list legitimately should be like 200 cities long, that's fine. You don't want it to be 800 long when it could be 200. So you still want to clean up this list no matter how many or how few cities and towns are in your service area. You don't want institutions in there, and you want each city that you're willing to serve in there only once, spelled one way. Now, the other thing to keep in mind about this is that it's not just for your customers that you're doing this. It's also for you. If you have a bunch of inaccuracies in your list of cities, your sales reports are going to be all screwed up. So this is an important task to knock out early on. Okay, that does it for service areas. In the next video, we're going to cover travel fees. Feel free to take the quiz for this training and move on to the next one in the ERS configuration training series. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.